Hi everyone, I hope you are all continuing to actively read and that you are being safe and productive as the time of quarantine and lockdown carries on. An interesting fact about today is that it's actually National Empanada Day. Did you know that there was a national day for that? Empanadas are a delicious food, part of rich Mexican cuisine. This episode is a continuation of the 11 by 11 read aloud episodes. Be sure to check out the other episodes if you have not done so already. Previously, on 11 by 11, we saw a child learn to go out into the real world and make friends through the help of a fictional video game character. Today's story was inspired by my love of the breeze and the wind, and my own thoughts about what it would be like to be a bird and to be able to fly around. This is a tale of a man with a dream, and the warning that one should be careful about what they wish for. Enjoy. Dreamy Danny. It was a terrible day for Danny. He had just lost the monumental race called Mannered, seen a flock of majestic birds, and had gone on a field trip to the zoo, where inspectors would walk around marveling at all the birds. The strange thing was, how could that be bad? It doesn't sound so bad. Well, these events were all related to birds, which Danny had always been jealous of. He was jealous of the way those majestic birds spread their wings and soared off into the sky. The Mannered race was a man versus bird race. Danny was beaten by an eagle, who left him and 9 other racers in the dust. He really wanted to be one of those majestic birds, and to be marveled at like how all the other birds were. But he decided to forget all about it, since the next day was actually his birthday. As he cut the cake and made a wish, he remembered his dream. It's kind of easy to guess what he wished for. Yes, he wished to be a bird, but not just any bird, a majestic regal eagle. Even though he was pretty sure that his wish would not come true, somewhere in his soul, he felt that he should have faith, because then maybe the wish would come true. The next morning when he woke up, he was much smaller and had wings instead of arms. He tried flying, but it wasn't easy. He crashed into the bathroom, and in the mirror's reflection, he saw that now he was a bird, a majestic regal eagle, just like he wished for. He went to his parents so that he could tell them the good news, but they didn't recognize him, and they threw him out because they couldn't understand him. He was adopted by a family of kind eagles. At first, it was wonderful. He was able to fly around, eat tasty food, and be marveled at. All was amazing, a dream come true. But after a month, Danny started to see the flaws in this plan. People were always trying to kill eagles for food and to sell their majestic feathers. His life was one full of a lot of danger. Oh, the food, he complained. At first he would get good food, but now good food was not available anymore. Instead they had to eat icky, yucky worms. Gross. He was starting to miss his family, and he knew that the wish that he had made was wrong. After lots of torture and lots of experiences that Danny did not like, 1 year it had been since Danny turned into a bird. He sat down to contemplate what had been going on. His family was worried and looking for him. They didn't realize when they kicked him out that that was actually him. It was his birthday again, and as he ate his cake full of worms and blew his candle, his wish was to be himself again, the person who he no longer hated, the person who he appreciated, the person who he loved. The next morning, he was himself again, and he walked home with happiness. He told his family that he had actually been kidnapped and had escaped, because they wouldn't have appreciated the truth. They were so glad to see him, and he was just as happy to see them. Danny was no longer envious of birds. He was happy being his true self, because that's how everyone should be. He became the person who he was meant to be. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you would consider leaving a review and rating on Apple Podcasts, or any feedback about books that you've been reading, or book trailers that I could make a book trailer for. For example, we had a listener on Apple Podcasts request to make a book trailer for the book The Last Lecture, which I was able to fulfill. Please let me know. Thank you. I implore you to soar.